Good morning, Pastor Brian here. Thank you for joining me today as we read a psalm a day. Today we will be reading Psalm 114. And as I read it today, as I do each day, I'll be reading from the Common English Bible Translation. Let's jump into Psalm 114. When Israel came out of Egypt, when the house of Jacob came out from a people who spoke a different language, Judah was God's sanctuary. Israel was God's territory. The sea saw it happen and ran away. The Jordan River retreated. The mountains leaped away like rams. The hills leaped away like lambs. Sea, why did you run away? Jordan, why did you retreat? Mountains, why did you leap away like rams? Hills, why did you leap away like lambs? Earth, tremble before the Lord. Tremble before the God of Jacob, the one who turned that rock into a pool of water, that flint stone into a spring of water. That is the end of Psalm 114. So what did you hear? What did you like out of today's psalm? What maybe didn't you like, or what did you find confusing today? One of the things that just kind of stuck out to me, again, another short psalm, and there honestly wasn't just one phrase that stuck out to me, so I just want to talk about the psalm in general, is how this psalm really focuses in on that wilderness journey for the people of Israel when they left Egypt, as it says in verse 1, and just that the the miraculous wonders that God did in parting the sea, that God did in providing water, that God did in doing all of the things that God did throughout the wilderness and then on into the promised land. And I just think it's it's very true to the people of Israel and their remembering. We see in lots of places that they very strongly remember the deeds of God and how God has acted throughout history with them and how God has rescued them. And so I think this psalm is one of those psalms that helps the people remember all the mighty deeds that God has done for them. And I think that's a wonderful thing for us to do as well, to look back at those times where God's mighty hand was involved in our lives. That we can look back and say, I remember the time when I was going through this, or when I was having trouble with this, or just I knew God's presence was here because of this, and to remember those times when you really felt God's presence. Because maybe that'll be a good way for you, for me, to get through the current situation, if you're going through something, or the next time you go through something, to really remember how God stepped in other stages of our lives, either individually or collectively, like God did for the entire people of Israel. So, what did you hear? Again, write that down. Share it with a friend. Share it with us. As always, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and God bless.